Yeah. Cool. So I'll just mute everyone. Okay, so I just muted everyone. I just muted you too, Krystal. I think you can unmute yourself.
My audio. I can. Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. So do you want to just share my story?
Yeah, well, I'll just say first, welcome everyone to the call, and cool for jumping on. And don't know why there's not that many of us tonight, but usually we have 25 on here, but not sure what's going on. But thank you very much, Krystal, for coming along and sharing your knowledge with us. And we can't wait to hear some little golden nuggets I'm sure you're going to give to us. And go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we've got some questions. So can't wait to hear it all.
So I started in Isagenix in June 2016, and when 2015. So I've been in about 16 months. And when I first started, I started. I didn't fuck around. So I swear a lot as well, just so you all know. Drop the F1 if you but a year before that, I had someone prospecting me, and I kept telling them no. I just, for whatever reason, I didn't resonate with them. I just didn't feel it. So, I was getting lots of information from them. I was one of those really annoying people who I'd message them every 6 weeks, ask more questions, never respond. So I never feel bad when people do that to me, because that's what I did to people. And then it kind of just got to the point where, everywhere I went, someone was wearing an Isagenix t-shirt, or someone had an Isagenix drink bottle, or, I'd be with a client and they'd tell me that, in network marketing and Isagenix. So it got to the point where I really couldn't ignore that the universe was throwing it in my face. It got so loud that it was like, okay, I have to do this. And the last time I went to my hairdresser, who I didn't really know, and she told me she was doing this cleanse, and I was like, oh my God, are you doing Isagenix? It's friggin' Isagenix. And she actually connected me with Jackson. So Jackson Pa drove down to my house and kind of drew up the compensation plan for me and my partner, Bruce. And I'd already made the decision that I was, that we were going to do this regardless of what Bruce's input was. So I made the decision for us. And we started, and when we started, I didn't screw around. I got straight into it. I had done a year of research. I had watched lots of videos, and I kind of had a much better understanding. Within 3 months, we hit Krystal Executive 3-star. I worked tirelessly in that 3 months. I was working from 11 till 11 in my full-time job, and just trying to fit Isagenix in wherever I could. I got up earlier, I went to bed later, didn't go out, didn't work out, didn't do anything. I just built this business until I was in a position to resign, which is what my initial goal was when I started. I just hated my job and I wanted to get out of it. So we did that in 3 months, and we've just obviously now retired Bruce. So it's taken us another 13 months on top of that to retire Bruce. We probably could have retired him sooner, but until last security blanket, for us it was a big decision. We didn't want to rush that decision. We wanted to make sure we were very comfortable. So that's kind of how I got into Isagenix. The rest is history.
Awesome. And that's it's amazing. It's amazing when you say you're working 12-hour days and still getting up early, working the business, and in 3 months you got really high up there. It's incredible, and I know everyone just absolutely loves your story, because it is one that's completely different to a lot of other people doing these calls. But no, well done and awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. We worked hard. It wasn't something that. Yeah, and I think my level of hard work's pretty hard. I've got a strong work ethic, so it wasn't something that, we're on the inside of an inside leg. Do you know what I mean? We don't have built up volume. We had to build both of our legs in our business. And not that I knew any different when I started. I just thought that's how it was. And so we worked really, really hard. Even when we hit executive, we were in Bali. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to the Gili Islands. It's this 3 kilometre by 3 kilometre island. And it has the worst reception. You can't even, there's no electronical vehicles or anything. It's donkey. No shit. And I was the whole time in the Gili Islands, I was just going to cafe. Do you know what I mean? It was my first overseas trip, but I worked every day that I was on that holiday. And that's when we actually hit, it was our biggest week. at that point in our business when we hit 3-star Krystal Executive. So I think people don't realize just how hard, you've got to be willing to sacrifice it all in the and keep sacrificing until you reach whatever it is that you're trying to reach, for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we've got a whole lot of questions here that the team's been sending in.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So, questions for Krystal. Number 1, how do you structure your Facebook posts? Do you write up and plan out some of them for the week ahead, and then pop other more spontaneous ones in around those? How do you keep consistent and organised in posting and showing up on Facebook?
I love this question. I wish I had a really great answer for you. I've got no fucking system. Like when I got it, I was like, should I give them what they want to hear? Just be honest. I'm just going to be really transparent. I don't have a system. Facebook is my business, so I don't need to keep in myself consistent. It's my business. I'm on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I live my life transparently through Facebook to build relationships with people. I wish I had a structure, because it is, all over the shop, but I also really want to keep it authentic. This whole business is about building relationships and connecting with people. So I know there are people who pay people in India to post and write up posts for them and stuff like that, like virtual VMs. Is it VA? Yeah, it's a virtual assistant. Yeah, lots of people do it. It's something I've looked into, but but right now I just want to. When I post on Facebook, it's my way to connect with my network. So I do it simultaneously. When I post, I post purely from the heart and whatever's on my mind at that time. For me personally, I couldn't sit down on a Sunday night and plan out my post for the week, because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling each day or what's going to be going on. So in a perfect world, I'd have a structure. It might be easier, but it's not congruent with, how I want to show up. I want it to be, authentic all the time.
Excellent. And I guess life changes so much, doesn't it? And you can't really tell what you're going to be doing from one day to the next. So it's.
Do you post many body kind of photos at all? Like changes and whatnot.
Like before and afters?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I post before and afters. I mean, you can all go to my Facebook. I started in June, and you can scroll down to June and you can see everything I've ever posted on Facebook. I try. The one thing I think when I started, I didn't really understand algorithms and how Facebook worked and the formula I should be following. I was just kind of, doing whatever I wanted to do. So, you'll see a difference from when I started to now. I used to post a lot of before and afters, and it probably pissed a lot of people off. Not that I care, but people that pisses off, you don't want in your business anyway. So but now I'm more, conscious of that. I don't want my Facebook to look like a shop front. I want it to look, I want it to just to be authentically me. So yeah, I definitely have a formula now rather than just the random stuff that I would post.
Oh, awesome. Question number 2, what's your process of talking to people from being on your master contact list to the point of enrollment? And it's got some sub-questions around that, but I'll let you answer that one first. So what's your process of taking people from being master contact list to enrollment?
Yeah, so how I built my business in the beginning was I didn't have a network. I live in Brisbane. I've been working weekends and nights for 5 years. It wasn't I didn't know a single person in Brisbane other than the people I worked with. And my boss was like, you're not allowed to sign anyone up. I was like, I respected that. So I didn't really feel like I had a network. Not that I ever used that as an excuse. So I used Facebook. So when I posted on Facebook, because I post particular before and afters and I was sharing what was going on, it kind of drew out the people who were interested in what I was doing. So that's kind of how I prospected. I rarely have to go and find people at this stage. A lot of the people come to me through my Facebook. So with my master list, I have people on a master list, but in the beginning, because so many people were coming to me, it wasn't like I would sit down and kind of message everyone in my master list. I couldn't even keep up with the influx of people that were coming in. The biggest thing, I'm just between enrollment. So me personally, like I come from like a sales background, okay, which doesn't, you know, I worked in timeshare for a really long time, which is probably the hardest sales in the world. So I'm always used to having steps to the sale. Okay. So for me, like the minute I'm in a conversation, there are steps that I'm following in my head to get me from A to sale, to credit card. And that's kind of what I do in every conversation. And the step, I've actually got them for you because there's actually no training on this. And I think it's like crucial. So step one, so if I start a conversation or someone's messaged me, you know, most people are going to message you and they're going to write, hey, what's this cleanse? How much is it? Like that's probably the number one question that people get asked. So even though their initial opening to that conversation is about isogenics is the last thing I talk about, because the most important thing is step one, and step one is building a relationship. So if Joe messages you and you used to go to high school with Joe and you haven't spoken to him in 5 years, and that's most of the people that are coming into your business are people that you've once known. They're really like in your close network, for me anyway. So if Joe messaged me, hey, what's this cleanse? You know, what's the price? And we're like, oh my God, Joe, dude, I haven't spoken to you in so long. Like I keep seeing you on Facebook. I've been meaning to message you. Like I'm going to research about what's been going on. How's the kids? Like how's married life? Whatever. I'm going to find out about Joe. I'm not going to jump straight into a conversation about isogenics, even though that's what Joe messaged me. Because step one is build that relationship. And if Joe's not your best friend, you need to build that relationship. That makes sense. It's so important that you don't just go straight into talking about isogenics. So the first is like build a relationship. The second step is like you've got to find common ground. So a great way to find common ground with someone and build trust and rapport, like the three most important things is, you know, you could say to Joe, I always remember you from high school, man. Whenever I was with you, always made me feel warm inside. You were so funny. So you're going to like compliment Joe on the things that you remember about him and the relationship that you once had, or what you remember of him in school or what have you. And that's going to build trust and rapport. So I think where people make the mistake is they miss all of that. And like that is the most crucial part in this business. Like if you're missing steps 1, 2, and 3 and jumping straight into isogenics, you're going to get a lot of objections. You're going to get a price stuff. You're going to get a lot of no's or people not responding, because people need to feel that you care about them, and the only building a solid relationship with them. I always like teach my team. I was like, remember that person in high school that was everyone's best friend? Never had an issue with anyone. That is who you need to be in network marketing. You are now everybody's best friend all the time. The next step is obviously like when I'm talking to someone is I'm not going into any conversation with the intention of isogenics. I think it's really important to work on that. I don't go out and try and get people. I'm really cool if people tell me no. I'm really cool if people are not ready. So this conversation with Joe could go on for ages before isogenics came up. But when it does come up, then I usually just share my story, whatever my story that I feel is going to be relevant to Joe. So if I'm talking to Joe and he wants to gain muscle and I'm talking about my weight loss story, that wouldn't be very smart, because you want to share a story that's going to relate. So if your story doesn't relate to the person you're talking to, then use a third party story, and share that story if you feel it's going to relate to them. Then the next step is 5, which is find out about their goals. So, what are you interested? How's your health been going? Tell me more about, what's been going on for you. So when you get a goal, so like a goal, for instance, could be Joe writing back, I want to lose 10 kilos. That's awesome, but that's not the reason Joe's going to buy. And this is where people get lost. They think that Joe's going to buy because he wants to lose 10 kilos. What you need to find is keep digging deeper on that question. Go deeper. It's like 3rd level questioning. And so step 6 is called find the dominant buying motive. So Joe's goal is to lose 10 kilos. Okay. But what you want to ask next is, well, Joe, how long have you been trying to lose the weight for? He might say, you know what, my whole life. How does that been for you? Like, what's that like? Always carrying that extra weight. Like, how has that affected your social life, your love life? Like, get deep with people. Don't be afraid to go there, because you need to find their dominant buying motive. And if you don't go deep, you're never going to find it. I mean, people might buy from you, but they're never going to share and keep going and build a massive business with you, if that makes sense. It's so important to go deeper. So then once you find the dominant buying motive, and to give you an example, like Joe wants to lose 10 kilos. That's his goal. But then I keep asking questions. How long have you been wanting to lose it for? How's it affecting your day-to-day life? And really what we get down to is that Joe's dominant buying motive to spend the $600 is the fact that he is struggling to actually run around the backyard with his kids. His kids are, 7 and 4, and he's noticing that his weight is actually stopping him from being the father that he wants to be. So that is the reason that Joe is going to buy from you, and he's never going to give you a price objection.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean? So then you would take, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like the outline of my conversation. So you've got 1, build a relationship, 2, find common ground. And in those 2 things, you were going to build trust and rapport. And until you've built a relationship and you've built trust and rapport, you cannot go any further. So you might need to stay in that zone for like a while until you connect with that person. Then you're going to share your story relevant to them, find out about their goals, dig deeper to find their dominant buying motive. Then based on their dominant buying motive, so for instance, if Joe's goal is that he's a father and he is struggling to play with his kids and he's worried that, I don't know, about his long-term health because his dad died of a heart attack, who knows, then I'm going to connect Joe with someone who he can relate to. So I might say, hey, Alan, you're a father, you've got kids. I'd really love to connect you with my mate Joe. He's thinking about doing isogenics, and we're going to hook up a 3-way call or what have you. You guys are all doing like 3-way calls and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's awesome the way you broke that down, because I know a lot of the time, because you really get into people's whys and really get into it. And a lot of the time I just go, I just ask people straight off, what do you want? Or why do you want to do that? Sometimes I don't really get involved with people as much as I need to be. And so thank you for breaking that down. And that's awesome. I really took a lot out of that, because I realise now that I'm not really building that enough rapport with people before I'm going straight into their why. And I guess that's why some people can get scared off a lot.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, what will happen is they're never going to tell you the real reason why they want to do this. Or on the flip side, they're never going to tell you the real reason why they're not telling you yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless you have a relationship with someone they trust you, you can't get past surface level. And you can sell product on surface level, but you're not going to build depth. You're going to build width. And we want to build depth. Do you know what I mean? Like when you connect with someone and you know really their why and they trust you and they like you and you actually build a solid relationship. When you say, I want you to post your results on Facebook, they're going to do it and not question you because they trust and like you. So those beginning steps are so crucial. And then, believe it or not, the very, very last step is price. So people are going to want price at step 1. It's your job to learn the skill to get around that, because you cannot ever, ever, ever give price unless you've built a relationship they like and trust you. You found out about their goals. You've got their dominant buying motive. Because once you tell them $600 and you haven't done all of the work that you're meant to do previously, it ain't happening, because you haven't built the value for them. And they're going to tell you things like it's not affordable, it's not the right time, which is all a crock of shit. All they're really telling you is that, well, I don't want to buy it. I don't see the value in spending that money.
Yeah. Cool. And there's a question that comes off as a sub-question that says, what do you do with people interested in different solutions, i.e. products or the business? So, because obviously not everyone's interested in the business side of things to start off with. And, some people are, some people just want those results. So how do you, how do you...
What I've learned, and I even learned this in sales, like we would have someone like in timeshare sit down and be like, oh my God, I've read everything about your company. I'm ready to buy, right? And what an amateur salesperson would do was skip all of their steps and go, awesome, and try to get the sale without doing 1, 2, 3, all the things I meant to do. So my biggest advice to you is that you lead with the products. This is a product-based business. And when someone comes to you and they're like, I want to build this business, awesome, but there's no business without these products. So you still follow the exact same steps. So for me, there's not a different process for someone who is a business builder and someone who's a product user. I personally have never had anyone come to me who's a business builder and said, hey, I want to, I'm a business builder. Those people who have never last a second. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not really interested in what this company is about. They're interested in making quick money. As soon as they realize that it's work and there's no such thing as quick money, then they're out the door anyway. I don't have a different process. Obviously, different things happen in the sense that, they're more open to sharing straight away on Facebook. They're more open to coming to an event. You know, they're more committed to those types of things. So I still, even my, my product users, I still want them to share. Some of my biggest business builders have come from being people who are on the just product users. So yeah, it's for me the same process. And I've learned, because I've had people come in and like, oh my God, I'm watching you. I'm so excited. I want to do this. I'm ready. And then I skip all the stuff that I would normally do because they're excited and I'm excited. And then they do jack shit. So what I've learned is when someone's like, oh my God, I'm really excited. I'm going to build this business. I'm like, awesome. You up here, I need you down here. Let's start here. You've got to start in the product. There's a formula. There's steps that you need to. I kind of try to bring their excitement level down because otherwise, I don't get as excited. I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. This is what we need to do. Whereas before, I'd be like, puppy dog, oh my God, awesome, let's do it, let's roll. And they then 2 weeks later, they're out and they're not interested.
So you're building those and you're building those really strong foundations with people. That's what I like. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Question 3. Once people are enrolled, what do you do straight away with your business builders? How do you mentor them within the first 1 to 2 months?
So I basically, if someone's running and they're really interested, but I give the same love and respect to my business builders that I do my product sharers. I mean, my product users, because some of, my product users are turn into my biggest business builders. So again, to me, there's not a big difference between the two. It's actually what happens. If they're a business builder, you don't need to tell them to do jack shit. They're already doing it. When I came into this business, I didn't need anyone to tell me anything. I went out and found it. I went out and did it. Jackson didn't tell me what to do every day. I was here to build. Do you know what I mean? So you don't really have to like baby them as much if they're really serious. But, if someone is running with me, the first thing we do is book them in for like a training call. They'll actually do that with Bruce, but we do this for our product users as well. They should go through back office, explain, auto ship, how they can enroll someone. So everyone's given that call. It's a 15-minute call. I asked them to do their first Facebook post, which is, I'm excited about my cleanse kind of post, and share a bit about why they're starting their cleanse. I get them to tag me in that so that I get a notification every time that someone comments or posts. And then I walk them through what every conversation should look like so that I'm teaching them those sales, the steps to the end result. So 3-way Facebook messages, book them in for an event. I go to that event with them. I usually would buy them a ticket as well. I usually buy them their first event ticket so that they're committed. I bought you this ticket. I really want you to come with me. In the beginning, it's that first 30 days is so crucial, and that first, 1 to 2 months. And you just got to really nurture people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to appreciate that not everyone's going to be me in my business, and you have to appreciate that about you. You're like, not everyone is going to be like you. So yeah, I do buy them event tickets, and I kind of really nurture them and mold them and boost them up and give them confidence. And I basically talk to them like a few times a day, if they're really running for it. Love on them hard would be my biggest tip.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Question number 4, when you catch yourself not taking action when you should be, are there any techniques that you use to get your head out of the static and back in the game? If so, what do you do?
I'm trying to think. Like I think the only time that I haven't been in massive action would be when I need to take a step back to do some work on myself. So if you're really dragging your tail and you all talk, no action, you just keep telling people what they want to hear, but you know that you're not really doing it, then it probably means that you really need to go and do some work on yourself, because you've been given the best opportunity in the world, and yet that's not enough for you to get off of your ass and do something. So for me personally, like, there was a period probably from like, I don't know, November to March last year where I was out of action, and every day, it's very hard in this business because we are in a business of really helping other people. So if you're not whole and 100% within yourself, you can't actually help anyone else. So I took, no, people don't know that I stepped out of the game. Like, my business still grew and stuff, but I was not in the game, and I did lots of self-development, and I just was really audio books, going to the gym, affirmations, just trying to get my mindset back where it needed to be. But that's the only time. That was because I ran so fast in the beginning and didn't do any work on myself that it kind of caught up with me. And I just needed to really develop myself into, the person that I wanted to be. But if you're struggling all the time to get into action, then you need to just slap yourself in the face, because, this is like the vehicle to everything you've ever wanted in life. Like, if this doesn't get you into action or serving others doesn't get you into action, then I don't know what's going to, type thing. But it's okay as well. Like even today, right? So my level of commitment, I'm 100% committed. Like, we were up at 6:30 this morning. We had a meeting, our first meeting at 8 a.m. with one of our builders who's gunning for executive. Then I had straight from there, I had a launch party that I did for someone in my downline. Then we've come home, we've worked for a couple of hours. I'm doing this call. I've got another call at 8 o'clock. Like, that's my Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do not rest. Do you know what I mean? This is like, I'm building my empire, and I'm going to work as hard and lose as much sleep as I need to, because I know that in 3 to 5 years, everything's going to be fine. I've got no doubt where I'm heading. Don't doubt it for a second,
Awesome. And that's the thing with this, isn't it? It's not just a 5-day working week. It's every day. And
yeah, definitely. I actually asked Bruce this. I think this might be another question, actually. Oh, actually, yeah, you keep going. I've got another question.
Cool. How do you deal with negativity / banter from friends on your posts? Do you sometimes delete the comments or just leave them?
You know what? It depends on who it is. Where is this? What question number is this?
Number 5.
Yeah. Look, when I first started this, I'm from Canberra, the capital of Australia. It's a small place, very, very prejudiced, so stuck up. Like, oh my God, I was actually one of those people as well, which makes me vomit in my mouth. But anyway, so when I started this, like, when I came out, I always, like, I was like a gay man. I came out loud and proud, like I had been suppressed my whole life. And I just think I honestly thought that people were going to be happy for me. How naive. Like, how stupid was I? And they came after me. I've still got the massive scars in my back from some of the things that happened. But, you're going to get hate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, massively. You're going to get hate. Like, I got hate. I felt really alone in it. There was no one else. There's no one else in Canberra really doing it. There's people doing it, but there's no one doing it, in Canberra. So I felt alone in it. And what I didn't realize is that everyone gets hate. Do you know what I mean? I just assumed that it was just me and just my.
Oh. Hey,
degree.
Sorry, we lost your sound there for a second.
Yeah, so as time went on, I realized that I wasn't alone. Like, I might have been the only person in Canberra and my network, but everyone was going through something like that. Yeah. And, like, for whatever reason, it's funny because I've always spent my whole life trying to fit in and always spent my whole life trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be or in the cool group. That was like unintentionally, that's just what I thought what I had to do in life. So I found it really liberating, to be honest with you. First, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. Do you know what I mean? I really just don't even care. But that's because they tore me down to nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, really, there was in that first, even like when I took that break, that's when it got the worst. I had a friend send me, I'd blocked certain people because I knew, what was happening. And, one night I was sent a thread of like just the horrible things people were saying about me publicly on Facebook, and there was a hashtag Krystal Wilson at one point, and they were using that and just attacking me. And these are people that I used to, you know what I mean? Like, that I considered in my network, friends. So for me, it was really difficult. It definitely stripped me down as a human being, and I never reacted. I never, ever, ever messaged anyone. I never called anyone. I never commented. I never, ever. They have they don't even know the tears I cried. Do you know what I mean? I was never going to give them justice for them trying to do that to me. And, for the first time ever in my life, like, I had no one. But it was like that moment that created, I was able to step into my power and be exactly who I was meant to be, because everything I thought was a part of me I'd lost. And then I realized, oh my God, no, all of that shit was suppressing me. Like, that wasn't who I wanted to be. It wasn't who I wanted to be a part of. So don't react. Don't be combative and defensive. You don't need, you know who you are, you know your purpose, you know why you're doing this. People are going to come after you. Delete it, delete it if it's nasty and negative. But then also, I would delete, if one of my really good friends wrote something, then I would delete that. If it was someone loosely, I would probably message them and be like, hey, I just got your comment on my thread. I was just a little bit taken back, and ask them why they commented that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I teach people. Don't have an argument or get combative on the actual thread. Just delete it and message that person. Go, hey, I just deleted your comment. I hope you can understand why. Always come from a place of love. Just go, obviously I really believe in these products, but I totally respect that they're maybe not your thing. But I'd really appreciate if you didn't comment on my post like that. And just usually they'll write back, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I wasn't thinking. Do you know what I mean? You can actually kind of break down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like the question. Sorry. So let me read that.
Is that what you do when you're speaking to people face to face as well? If they say something negative to you, don't bite back. You try to find out the reason why they think that.
Let me think. What's really funny, because the first 6-8 months I was behind my computer. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't having face-to-face conversations, and now no one would want to dare say anything to me. Like, my posture is 10 out of 10. Like, I always say to people, get them in front of me. No one would even they'd have to have the biggest balls to come at me with anything like that. They just don't now. Like, no one can. I've built that up that they don't even bother. But if someone, we were do launch parties and someone will say, oh, but it's just a pyramid scheme, then, I'm going to have a conversation with them. They're saying it, they're inviting me to have a conversation, but I'm not going into that conversation with an intention to change their mind. My intention is to find out, where that's coming from. And it's always coming from somewhere very different if you can kind of dig deep enough. Usually, my thing is people, they can't afford this and they know they need it. They're going to come at you with negativity.
Definitely. Have you had any of those people flip and go full circle and now they're joined Isagenix?
Yeah, my God, yeah. If you just, I did it on my launch party call, but there was a girl and she was borderline heckling me, and I slapped her around a little bit, but I slapped her around and then I'd love on her. You know what I mean? I wasn't hardcore bitchy, but I just was kind of put it in her place. She had the balls to do it publicly in 27 people. I'm going to stand up. Do you know what I mean? My posture is my posture. Mm. And then the first thing I did afterwards was go up to her and thank her so much for coming. I said, I was going to thank you for coming, because I can see that this, you're not quite here. This, I can see that you were kind of dragged here, and I really respect you coming and supporting your friend. And then I said, I'm actually really thankful that you said what you said, because you had the balls to say it and everyone else might have been thinking it. And it took some balls to say that to me up there. So thank you so much. And we're Facebook friends. And you know what I found out? She desperately needs these products. She has not a penny to her name. So her defense was to, try and bring it down and say it was this and say it was that. But really the core reason is she's embarrassed that she doesn't have the money to buy this for herself.
Yeah, it's...
I would have got that out of her if I had been, you know what I mean? If I was combative and defensive, and I would never have got that out of her.
Oh, fully. And it's quite funny with the negativity. One of my really good friends, he put a negative video up about Isagenix on my Facebook wall, when I just started. And I said to him, there's never any bad publicity. That's what I said to him. It's always some form of good publicity. Well, that one video had over 800 views in 24 hours. And most of those people didn't even know what Isagenix was. So it turned around full circle, and, I had heaps of people contact me out of the blue asking what Isagenix was. So that was awesome. But anyway.
Yeah, it's all in the way you handle it. It's really dark. Sorry. See me? Yeah. It's all in the way you do it. And you know what? Until you develop yourself, do you know what I mean? You're going to handle it the wrong way, and then you know what I mean? So that's a really great way to handle it. But obviously there's going to be people who that will shatter them, and that'll turn them away from this business, So I think I'm really honest with people, and I'm like, not everyone's going to like what you're doing. Not everyone's going to like that you're doing something different, just to prepare people for that. But I plug them in massively to our culture, so that if that does happen, you know, that they love the culture and the support network that we have, for sure.
Cool, awesome. We're going to question 6. So what does your typical day look like? How do you incorporate Isagenix income producing activities into your day?
Yeah, cool. So I got Bruce to help me with this, because I was like, how many hours a day do I do this? And I don't know, this is what I do, but I have very high expectations. But if you want to make it, I think this is what the expectation should be. So I do 10 to 14 hours a day on my Isagenix business every day, and probably have one, you know, there's no formula to it, but probably one day a fortnight where I take half a day, or, you know, like go to the movies, or, you know, things like that. But like this weekend, we had a dinner on Friday night and a dinner on Saturday, and that was like giving me anxiety, because I had way too much to do to have a dinner. And I know other people in Isagenix I know other people in Isagenix aren't doing that, because they're messaging me going, hey, let's have coffee. I'm like, I don't have fucking time to have coffee, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm building my business, you know? So from 6:30 to 1 a.m. is my day. And obviously there's pockets where I'm not doing Isagenix, but, you know, just like a gym and stuff like that. But so what was the question?
What does your typical day look like? How do you incorporate Isagenix income producing activities into your day?
Yeah, so everything to me is an income producing activity. Obviously, sometimes I spend too much time scrolling on Facebook, but I don't, because people who are friends with me, like in Isagenix, I unfollow them so they don't come up on my feed. So even when I'm scrolling on Facebook, it's actually part of my prospecting. I'm trying to find a way that I could maybe connect with other people who are in my network. So, you know, I do a lot of my day, and I don't know what level everyone is in their business, but a lot of my day is taken up with team, my downline. I don't work with my personally enrolled. I work with anyone who's in my.
Oh, we just lost sound again, Krystal. Oh. And Krystal, you've I don't know what's happened. Can you hear us now, Krystal? Hello.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
No, all good. Yeah, we're back.
I don't know where I lost you, but I was just saying that all of the people in my downline are my personally enrolled. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So there's nothing different. The girl I did a launch party for today is about 7 deep in my downline. So I treat every single person with the same love and respect. I don't treat my personally enrolled different to my 10 level deep, nothing. Everyone's the same, and I work with everyone, which is great, like, because I've got depth in my business. And no one is more special than anyone else, but it does take up a lot of my time, in the sense that I have a lot, you know, and now I'm building up other leadership, but there's a lot of orphans in my business, because we're on the inside of an inside. There's, you know, we grew so fast. Now we're having other leaderships being developed. We've got so many people. So I think it's important to, you know, I'm available 24/7. My people can call me at 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm there to help them. So everything to me is like, you know, an IPA, because if it's not directly IPA for me, like going to that launch party, that's BV, and that's, you know, just as important as like anything else to me is building a solid foundation, my business in cycles.
Cool. Excellent. Question number 7. How did you become such a lady boss?
This question was just so funny. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. You know what it is? It's really funny. Like, it's kind of part of the hate that I got, you know what I mean? That created, you know, like who I am now today in this business. If it wasn't for all of the hate and being stripped back and, you know, having to go and kind of really dig deep and figure out who I wanted to be in this world, and kind of rebranding myself, which I was desperately wanting to do, but even before Isagenix, that's kind of what, you know, created my, you know, I've got a kind of my attitude, my posture is it's 10 out of 10, but that's because I had to build that up, and that's, you know, the lady boss thing, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, you know. And I work freaking hard. Like, you know, I know like they say you shouldn't use the word hard and isagenix in the same sentence, but I think that it's not about, I don't find the work hard. I invest all of my time into this business. You know, there's, even when we're away, like I know, and we like travel a lot, but even when we're away, we work on our business. So that's what does it. It's consistent action and not caring what anyone thinks, like just going after it, and, doing a lot of self-development as well, and having belief in yourself.
What type of self-development have you done, especially when you had your break? I don't know if that's too personal, but
no, that's okay. You know, I just basically would listen to different audio books. So Ask and It Shall Be Given, a lot of Louise Hay's, you know, the standard stuff. I have to look at my bookshelf. Oh my God. You know, the 4 Agreements, just stuff like that. I'd find different things like audio books. It wasn't like I had, again, like a formula. I would just basically download a shitload of stuff. I would do affirmations every morning. But most importantly, it was like also like, because we worked so hard in the beginning, it was a mixture of things. Like I just needed a break, you know, I just needed, when you've kind of got like a big team, everyone wants a piece of you and you're not feeling whole, you just kind of need to go and take a break from that. But no one knows. It's so funny. Like I say that, like that's what was going on for me. But if you ask anyone in my business, they would have no idea. I was still available 24/7. I still worked as hard, but I wasn't there. You know, I wasn't in the business the same as I was. My heart wasn't in it because I was trying to work for myself. Yeah, most definitely.
Awesome.
And working back in, you know, is finding time every day for me. Going to the gym, you know, getting back into regular exercise. So I just gave up everything to get our business where we were. So now like that hour of exercise is really important to me. But it's sometimes really hard to find that hour to go and exercise with that, for myself. But I just try to obviously like do it before the day starts. But I like sleeping in. That's why I got into network marketing. So it's hard.
Question number 8, how do you deal with objections effectively? What do you say to people who have been told or think it's a scam, pyramid scheme or fad diet?
You know, I don't get a lot of objections, or maybe I don't look at them that way. So obviously my number one goal is to build relationships with people. So, you know, my objections, I look at them most of the time. An objection is a reason why they want you to give them the answer because they're actually wanting to buy. So just understanding that an objection isn't a negative thing. It depends on the objection though. Like if you're constantly getting, oh, it's too expensive, then there never has any, there's no, just so you know, there's actually no such thing as a price objection. It's a made up thing. It doesn't exist. It is never, ever, ever the price. I'll explain that to you though. There is a such thing as genuinely not being able to afford it though. Yeah. Not being able to afford it genuinely and someone giving you a price objection are two different things. And just kind of knowing the difference. So if you're building solid relationships, you really actually care, your intention isn't to get people and sign people up. Your intention is to really find out if they have a purpose for this in their life. You're not going to get negative objections. You might have people trying to shut you down, like when someone, oh, it's a fad diet, but are they even interested? Like, I don't care if someone who's just like says a sweeping comment, who's a dickhead friend, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not really an objection. That's just some guy trying to bring you down a few levels because you're in a great space. So I don't ever have anyone say to me it's a fad diet. And that girl at the launch party is probably the first person that has ever said to me, my face, this is a pyramid scheme. So it's hard for me. I know my team get things like price objection and protein shakes and stuff like that. But I always tell them it's because you haven't done 1, 2, and 3 right. When, you know what I mean? If someone trusts you and likes you, or you're talking too much about the products, like in those whole steps I showed you, like, when did I even talk about cleanse days and shake days? Like, some of the people who buy from me don't even know it's isogenics and don't even know what's rocking up on their doorstep, because at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. All you've got to figure out is why they need this in their life, and they won't care how much it costs if they know that it's going to fix that problem. So if people in your team are getting a lot of objections, you need to go through. You need to be on a three-way call silently and figure out what they're saying. It's something that they're saying. Usually an objection is something that they're saying that keeps bringing it up. Like, I had some random person in Isogenics message me on my cleanse page asking me, do people message me and just want to buy Cleanse for Life? And I was like, what? I was like, how do they even know about Cleanse for Life? Like, I was like, no. I said, no. She goes, oh, but your page is called 30-Day Cleanse. And I was like, yeah. And I said, babe, I promise you've got to go back. You're giving them this information. Like, there's something you're saying every time you speak to someone, and that's why you keep getting the same outcome. I said, I've never had anyone in the thousands of conversations that I've had, or hundreds of conversations that I've had, ever say to me, I just want to buy the cleanse powder. It's something she's saying. You know what I mean? And I said, you need to go through your pitch or whatever it is that you're saying to each person. There's something you're saying. And that's the thing, if someone is always getting the price objection, it's something they're saying. It's, it's not common to get the price objection every single time you speak to someone. You're doing something wrong in those steps. Whether you're not building a relationship, you're giving them the price before you build value, or you don't know why they really want to do it. So therefore, why would someone spend $600 on something that they don't feel is going to actually solve their issue?
At what point do you mention isogenics? So, you've built the relationship, and, you've got to know them and their story. At what point do you bring in what you do and what it can do for them?
I don't. Isogenics, I don't even use the word isogenics because it doesn't matter. Like if I was just having like a normal, this is actually a question that was asked the other day in one of our business pages, actually, like what time do you bring up isogenics? And it's funny. So Nicole, Robbo, myself and Catch, I think if you her exact thing, so that it's not something that I bring up at all. And I don't even think people ask me. As I said, people don't, sometimes we go through the whole process and they have no idea what's rocking up on their doorstep. Well, they get their isogenics email, but it's not about isogenics. It's not even about what's in the box. And this is what people get confused. If you're having a conversation all about the products and people know about shake days and all your conversations about the products, you've missed the point. Your whole conversation needs to be about the person and what's going on for them. And you helping them to see that whatever's arriving in that box is going to fix that issue. Because I don't even know about the products. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love them, but so they say you shouldn't be a cleanse expert. You don't need to know about the products. You can send them tools. Like, obviously you're going to have that 1 in 10 person who wants to know every ingredient. We all get that person, but that should be like not even 1 in 10, like 1 in 20 want to know that kind of information. And if you keep having that, whatever is constantly coming up for you, like whether it be they want to know all the ingredients or they want to know what's in it, they think it's a pyramid scheme. It's something in your posture, it's something in your belief system, it's something you're saying to them as to why that keeps coming up.
Cool. Cool. So we'll just give everyone 5 to 10 minutes. Just if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask Krystal, just unmute yourself and ask away. Is that all right with you, Krystal?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
Hello.
Adam.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, mate, we can hear you. Wicked.
This is my first time joining a Zoom call on a cell phone. It's a surprisingly good reception. But this call has just been absolutely phenomenal. Like Bianca and I are sitting here, Krystal, and we're just like jaw dropped as to your lady bossness and your posture and your energy and your input and your empire. So thank you so much for sharing all of this. Our question is, because we were constantly wondering, what did it feel like being on the President's Quest, and how did it feel earning that, and what did it take?
so like so the President's Quest is a year-long competition, and there's a formula, and every month there's like say 7 categories to the formula. Don't even ask me the formula. I couldn't even tell you, right? It was just hilarious. There's a formula, and every month you have to get 1 point above in each formula to be in the competition. So I didn't even know what the President's Quest was. I shit you not. 3 months before it got announced that we won it, we got a call from corporate saying we were in the top 10 for President's Quest. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, what is it? Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, that's awesome. And then I found out, like, I did my research and I found out what it was. And then I called Alan, I called Jackson, because they're, my upline. And I was like, what the fuck, man? We just got this call for President's Quest. And I found out that they had got the call as well. So then I was like, Bruce, like, I shit you not, I was like, there is no way we are going to win this. I knew who the other, a few of the other top 10. And I said, we must be the 10th. Like, we're 10th. We have to be. There's no way. I said, and I was just like so blessed. And I felt like, what an achievement to even be in the top 10 with that caliber. Like, I shit you not. Like, we booked Europe. We had paid and booked a trip to Europe, like, even after we got that call, because we weren't going. There was this is like awesome. I wanted to be top 10. Then, like, I was literally driving to go get an hour of acupuncture, like needles in my face, cannot talk, nothing. And my phone rings, and it's an American number, and I'd forgotten about the President's Quest. Like, I got that call in the top 10. Sweet, thank you. That ain't happening, but thank you for the, the privilege. And it's like an American number. And I missed it by one call. Listen to the voicemail, Kathy Coover. I was like,
no,
crying. Like, she's like, hey, Chris, Kathy Coover from Isogenics. We just wanted to congratulate you on winning the President's Quest. I can't wait to see you in the Mediterranean. And I was like, oh my fucking God, what the fuck? Like, oh my God.
Please tell me she called you back.
No, I called back straight away, and it went to her voicemail. And then I'm like, called Alan, like, because I just was in shock.
Wait, you missed a call from Kathy Coover. What are you doing? Are you even a network marketing professional?
Oh, ridiculous. Anyway, it was like literally 2 minutes to my appointment. I called Alan, screaming and crying. And he's like, ruh. Then I was like, called Bruce. He thought I was in a car accident. I was like, fine. And then I had to go and lie on the bed for an hour. And my phone was going crazy. And my acupuncturist knows how much I'm attached to my phone. And he does not give it to me, no matter what. And he's in Isogenics. And I told him, I was like, I just fucking got a call from Kathy Coover. Anyway, ringing and buzzing. And then halfway through acupuncture, he just handed me my phone and said, go for it. And I was like, oh my God, thanks. Yeah, exactly one. And then I'll be straight up with you. You know what it was? I don't even know what the formula is. We've gone over the formula now, knowing that we've won. We were in action all the time. Do you know what I mean? Even when my slowdown is probably other people's action. Like, you know what I mean? Like 6:30 to 1. So my Sundays and Saturdays are booked up. I'm always available. I'm always on call. I'm always doing something for my team to help them grow and develop. So it's hard because I don't know how we won it. And that's just me being totally honest with you. We didn't try to win it. We were trying to build our business. We were trying to build our freedom. And that was a huge honor to like get that gift. And it was also nice to know that, we've worked hard, and it's like to win and earn that trip was like incredible. That was like just, it was worth all the hate. It was worth all the tears, all the late nights, everything at the end of it, for sure.
And that painted an epic picture. I could feel that. And over there, who was the top 2 leaders or the top leader that kind of stood out to you, and you were just like, oh my God, that person is just.
The fucking Cepedas, they are the best. Cepeda is like my BFF. That guy is like, I love banter. So if you banter, I've got like a whole nother level of respect for you as a human being. He just gave it to me constantly, and I was like, man, I fucking love you. Like, we just, and we didn't like we sat around and talked business. We bonded, like, that was so. I was apprehensive. Like these Herb Cepedas, like we're 4-star. These people are like at the top of the food chain. So I didn't really know. I was apprehensive going in. Like, oh, is it going to be like segregated? Are we going to feel like we're 4 stars? Is that how the vibe's going to be?
Yeah.
There were just so warm, welcoming, loving, like amazing. Like not for a second did I feel that I wasn't a platinum millionaire. Like that's how I was treated, with the same respect. And they just were so warm and welcoming. Like I can't wait to go to America and see them all again. Like we definitely bonded on that trip. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like it was all isogenics talk. Like we got to know who each of them are and what you know, what they want in life other than isogenics, you know?
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
What,
like, obviously you just have such posture, and like, as you've, you know, shown and told us, and, you know, like no one could say anything anymore that would bring you down. So what did going on that trip add to you that you didn't already have?
I think it gave me a taste of where we're going. Like it's really funny. Like my goal isn't to be an isogenics millionaire. Money, I don't need $1 million. Like I'll be straight up with you. Like I don't need $1 million to live a great life. But I know I'm heading there. If that makes sense. Like I've got no doubt that's where I'm going, but it's not my focus. But what it did to me was to see, you know, people who are at that level. I think Herb and Patty are doing, like, have done 23 million. You know what I mean? In comms since starting to just to say they're humble, that there's nothing, they're dedicated, determined, motivated, passionate, loving people, but they're not super freak heroes. They're just like everyone else. They were humble and down to earth, and they're doing exactly, you know, they're not doing anything different to what I'm doing. So it just gave me that belief that not only I know I'm going there, but there's so many more people in my business that I know are also going to, you know, can go there as well. It just comes down to hard work, man. Like people ask me, what's the key to success? Consistency. Like, you know, that I know you guys had some flack on like your news stations recently. We had that in January in Australia. Like that night I posted a before and after, like the one, for whatever reason, when I come into this business and it's not who I was, like something all the worlds collided. For some reason, I just stepped into whoever I was meant to be. But, you know, when I got hate, like when I would be sent something horrific about me on Facebook, I would post a before and after, and that's what built it, because when people are really attacking you, you've got nothing left but to stand up alone with your conviction. If I didn't do that, then I had nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's what has created my posture, because I had no other option. If I had have bowed down and not done, you know, kept posting and just stand strong with my posture, then I looked weak, and I would rather, you know, that was not an option for me.
Really cool. Really cool.
Amazing.
Hello? Can I hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, cool. It's Isaac.
Isaac, how are you?
Hey,
We're really good. Hey, we didn't make a call. We have been listening for the last half of the call, and we just wanted to say this has been an absolutely freaking amazing call. And Calvin, you and Vanessa both bossed it. And Krystal, you just, the way, your authenticity, your love, your passion, your excitement, your connectedness you have with just everyone in your life, and the way, the person you are for people is just extraordinary. So I just wanted to acknowledge that before Calvin and Vanessa finish up the call, and just to acknowledge you, Calvin and Vanessa, for taking over the leadership of the call while we've been traveling down to your place and not being in reception. So thanks a lot, man. And Rach, did you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Krystal, and apologies we weren't there on the call. I made myself really wrong for that to everyone. But yeah, just thank you so much for giving your time up, because I know, like, just after hearing how busy you are, how precious that time is, and how beneficial that this has been to our team. Just thank you a million.
And you freaking rock.
Absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it. It's like seriously my absolute pleasure. Like, thank you so much for even asking me. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was an honor to get asked. I was like, of course I'll do your team call. Like,
I've got one thing to add as well, if I may, Krystal, before we wrap up. So, I just wanted to say, like, we try and invest as much time as possible as individuals and a team into obviously getting calls like this organized and working on ourselves and learning the tools. And you know how, like, it doesn't matter how much information you absorb, like what you refer to, something changed one day and you just stepped into the person you was meant to be. All of that greatness just happened, and you can't explain how it happens. It just does, and something's the trigger. Well, for me, I refer to those as a penny drop moment. And I've had the biggest breakthrough penny drop moment just from this freaking call, man. No shit, man. I'm writing stuff down on this thing, and I've just had that, like, I've had so much learning, so much priming, and something just went kapow, and I was like, fuck. I fully
what was
get
it?
like,
Share it. I'm so excited.
yeah, no, absolutely. So it's just the little things. So like I've realized that, like you said, like how you nurture your team, and like I've been thinking like, oh, if I'm pouring like 3 hours a day into isogenics, that's a commitment, you know, that's good. And this is coming from someone who's meant to be doing isogenics full time. So now hearing that you get 5.5 hours sleep a night and you're doing 14-hour days, like that just blew my freaking mind. So first and foremost, my commitment is just gonna triple. So that's one breakthrough. Other penny drop moment was that I thought I was being a good leader and showing up well for my team. And I realized like I have not been supporting them anywhere near enough, man. And so to like go to them now, like carry this breakthrough that I've had and just go and blow them away with it and literally hold their hand until they cross the line and more. That's been another awesome breakthrough. And another breakthrough for me was that because I was always wondering like when is a good time to bring up isogenics, or when is a good time to kind of angle at the opportunity that we're trying to kind of talk about here. And I realized, like, because I come from a sales background as well, I realized I lost touch of all of the valuable knowledge that I once learned, which is that it's not about you. It's like, and all you have to do is just keep talking about them, keep asking about them until they tell you when to bring it up, and they'll give you the signal. And I forgot that. And now you just reminded me of it. So yeah, you are, whatever you do, I can see why you're successful, because there is this raw, real talk, authenticity, and that's, I can tell it by the way that you swear so much, that just makes sense. So thank you. You're an absolute star, Krystal.
I love that. That's awesome. That's so good. Most definitely. Like, yeah, the biggest thing is love and nurture your people. If someone says yes to you, spend $600, give them the best experience of their life. Do you know what I mean? And just, yeah. as I said, I'm always about my team. And some people might say that I spend too much time on my team, in the sense that I should go on IPA and try, you know what I mean? Like still build my business. But you know what? It shows in my cycles. It shows in our growth. Like I know we have a lot of depth in our business, and I just meet people where they're at for sure.
Awesome. Hey, thanks again so much, Krystal. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to unmute all the lines. So we can just give Krystal a big cheer. So 3, 2, 1, go for it, guys.
Krystal Wilson! I know when the hotline bling. That can only mean one thing. Cause I know when that hotline bling.
Oh, she's rocking it. Yeah.
That can only mean one thing.
Yes, love it. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
You're amazing. We can't wait to see you in Brisbane at Celebration, and just keep doing it, because you're just such a constant inspiration for us, and you're just so killing it. We love you so much. Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Krystal.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.